This break is brought to you by Netflix. Head on over to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV to sign up for a free 30-day trial, or you guys can just click the banner right below this video. Now, we're still waiting for the next beta weekend event announcement, but in the meantime, Mike O'Brien, the president of ArenaNet, has been busy giving interviews about Guild Wars 2. We've got GameBreaker editor-in-chief Scott Hawks here to give us the lowdown on what's been going on. Scott, what was O'Brien's reasoning for including microtransactions, even though it's kind of a controversial topic amongst a lot of the community?
Yeah, it is. It's something that a lot of people get worried about. You say microtransactions and people clench.
No, don't make me pay more for a game. Ridiculous.
You're gonna destroy the game. It's not even out yet. Yeah, he was speaking to VentureBeat about the reasoning behind microtransactions, and basically, the real money transactions came in due to the Guild Wars 1 development cycle. They were able to put out expansions that quick. They were basically rolling over each other. Like one expansion was released 6 months after the previous one. So that was the way they were funding the live game, and that was bringing the money in to help develop the game further. But everybody except for the hardcore players felt that the game was kind of leaving them behind a bit because the new expansions coming out so quick.
Right.
So their way of spreading that out was to bring in microtransactions to fund it instead of the constant expansions. So seeing that worked so well, it was no surprise that it was going to be brought into Guild Wars 2.
So what you're saying is, in the long run, I can either pay for an expansion every 6 months, or I can just get over it, and if I don't want microtransactions, don't buy them.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think what a lot of people's concern with microtransactions, and this is probably exactly where they're coming from, is that they're afraid of the pay-to-win kind of scenario being kind of exacerbated. But what does ArenaNet come out and said to respond to the concerns over pay-to-win?
The way O'Brien sees it is, he sees it's pretty easy to sort of address. As long as you go straight out the gate before you implement everything. Remember, this is the thing about Guild Wars 2. This is a system that's been made from the ground up before it's not been stuck into the game halfway through. So everything that's in there that you can get is all convenience or cosmetic. That's the way you put it. As long as you stick to it's either cosmetic or convenience items, then it's not a problem. They do not want people to feel that they're obliged to buy something to be able to play the game fully. To quote him, as he says in the article, "We recognize that customers paid $60 for the game and they have the right to play the full game. So the microtransactions we offer are non-essential additions to the game and convenience services for players who want to trade money for time." So basically, you can buy gems, sell them for gold, and then buy stuff with them, or buy stuff for the convenience in the microtransaction store. But it's not intended to be anything that's going to make you more powerful than anybody else. It'll just mean that you can choose to spend more time on it, or you can choose to spend some cash on it.
And I think
you're not going to have the edge.
I think that's just what a lot of people can't really grasp their head around, is because every MMO with gear comes power. And it's just not the same for Guild Wars 2. It doesn't build that way. So no matter what you purchase, even if you're shelling out the money, the game really does come down to who is the more skillful player.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to get the Sword of I Win that you can go and take into WVW or whatever. That's going to make you more powerful than everybody else. You're really not. So those concerns, I think, are unfounded. And also, people are like, well, you'll be able to level faster. Yeah, but really, it's not. It's also not a game where it's about leveling either. It's not a race to the top. So I don't think, it's a different game to have this sort of structure in, which means that I think it actually works better than it would in a lot of games.
Now, we've seen some lingering doubts from some of the members of the community about the dangers of that RMTs can kind of pose for the game, but did O'Brien address this at all?
Yeah, he was really specific about it. He talked about, how sick are you of key logging, of malware on websites, of account hacking, of people just sitting in general chat spamming, like, come buy gold from me and all that. People are sick of third-party gold farming invading their game and also invading their accounts and destroying their time. I mean, we all know of people who have spent hours upon hours upon hours for years, and then everything they earn is wiped out, which is, you know, awful. And what they want to do is cut that out, that third party influence, by putting the power of the real money transactions to gold in the hands of the players in the game. So it's all within the game that it's taken care of. So you shouldn't have to look anywhere else, because it's all there for you.
Now, you, along with a lot of other people who've gotten to participate in the beta weekend events, have gotten their hands on the microtransactions. They gave you gems to specifically go in and use and experiment with the items you can get from it. Is there anything in that transaction system that you think players should be concerned about?
Unless people, I've seen this argument. I bought the scholar's robes just to see what they look like, and I actually saw somebody argue that, well, for some people, looking better than others is their way to win. So really, you can pay to win. But I mean, I think
really we're gonna degrade to cosmetics being pay to win.
Yes.
You get to look prettier than I do.
That's not fair.
You win.
But even if that was the case, even if with that huge stretch of logic that is the case, you can still earn gold in game on the trading post or however else you want to do it, and then buy the gems that way anyway. So you can't have an advantage using your cash over somebody who just spends the time to get the gold themselves. It's all a time trade-off. You know, I honestly don't think there's anything that I've seen in that microtransaction market that looks dangerous at all. In other games, that 50% per hour XP boost that you can buy might be, because everybody, the top guilds, are racing to get to max level, start raiding, and getting there quick, so they can have the best loot and the best and all that.
Right.
But Guild of Two just isn't that game.
No.
There isn't that standard end game progression. So you racing ahead, brilliant. Now when you walk around the corner, you're going to get D-ranked down to that zone anyway. So, you know.
And me as a level 1, I can jump into organized PvP and be your level. I don't have to wait.
Yeah. If it's a PvP side, you know, some people are concerned about WVW. You'll be able to go in and you'll be able to like buy gems and convert to gold, and then go and get you know, trebuchets and that quicker than the other side. But again, if you've got just gold, you can do that anyway. So I don't think that's a big deal. And you have to trade that gold within the system. It's not like gold that's invented for you. It's all gold that has to come from other players.
Sure.
So yeah, I understand when people see real microtransactions, real money transactions and microtransactions in the game, everybody worries, and for good reason, because it can really cause problems. But I think you really have to come at it with an open mind on Guild Wars 2, because it doesn't have the same progression structure as other games. It's not affected in the same way that it would be.
Yeah. No, I agree. Thank you so much, Scott. Guys, let us know what you think about microtransactions from your experiences with the beta weekend and the stress tests in the comments below. As obviously as any news breaks on the next beta weekend event, we will keep you updated right here on GameBreaker TV. And be sure to catch Guildcast Tuesday at 6 p.m. PDT, our Guild Wars 2 podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.